You want to
Good
recite?
job.
That was just 3 ayahs.
Okay.
والسماء ذات
بسمي.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والسماء ذات البروج واليوم الموعود وشاهد ومشهود قتل أصحاب الأخدود النار ذات الوقود إذ هم عليها قعود وهم على ما يفعلون بالمؤمنين شهود وما نقموا منهم إلا أن يؤمنوا بالله العزيز الحميد الذي له ملك السماوات والأرض والله على كل شيء.
الحمد لله رب العالمين الصلاة والسلام على رسول الأمين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي ربنا زدنا علما. Okay, today is the last juz. Yes, juz amma. May Allah reward you all. May Allah accept from us for doing this consistently. Alhamdulillah. Even though some of the days we missed recording, Alhamdulillah, this Ramadan we actually sat and did one juz every day, right? Alhamdulillah, may Allah accept. And we'll miss doing this, right? Will you guys miss doing this?
Maybe next year we could do something.
Yeah, but how?
We can start recording.
Yeah, and no, but even this year, even after Ramadan, we can continue learning. Okay, learning is not going to stop. Yeah. Day 30. Even after Ramadan, our learning doesn't have to stop. Let's think of the things that we wanted to do. Let's think of the things that we wanted to do in Ramadan, but we were not able to do. Like, for example, you wanted to finish Khatam, right? We were not able to do. We can continue reciting Quran. Okay?
And I wanted to finish
Juz Amma memorization. Yes, inshallah. Let's try to speed up now that the summer break is coming. Okay? Okay. So the first surah in Juz 30 is Surah An-Naba. Okay? Now you will notice again, just like Juz Tabarak, a lot of surahs do talk about Day of Resurrection and Tawheed because these are Makki surahs. Amar stop that. And they are early Makki surahs. Okay, so that was what the people in Mecca needed to hear the most. Okay, I'm just going to highlight some ayahs from each surah. So for example, Surah An-Naba, it starts with Amma yatasa'alun, about what are they asking? About the big news, Ani Nabai al-Azim, the big news, the great big news, alladhi hum fihi mukhtalifun, and they're disagreeing in it. But but soon they will come to know, very soon they will come to know. Meaning, they are arguing and they are debating and they are disagreeing about the day of judgment, about the death. Okay, and they will soon come to know when it actually hits them. Okay, and then the surah, of course, it talks about the day of judgment. It also talks about, haven't you seen how Allah did this? Haven't you seen how Allah made the sun like this? Haven't you seen how Allah made the earth a resting place, like a cradle? Haven't you seen how Allah made the mountains? Allah brings to attention different things that Allah has created and how those are so awesome, right? And so a creator who created all those things, for sure he can create you back again and day of resurrection can take place, right? That's why Allah is mentioning all that. And then heaven and hellfire. It's not something very abnormal or hard to believe if you think about everything else around you. And then the surah ends with this ayah. It's a very powerful ayah. إِنَّا أَنذَرْنَاكُمْ عَذَابًا قَرِيبًا يَوْمَ يَنظُرُ الْمَرْءُ مَا قَدَّمَتْ يَدَاهُ وَيَقُولُ الْكَافِرُ يَا لَيْتَنِي كُنْتُ تُرَابًا. So Allah is telling, indeed we have forewarned you of a big punishment, and a punishment that is very close. Okay, it's very close. And on that day when man shall see what his hands have done, like when he sees what he has set forth, the unbeliever will cry, woe to me, I should have just become dust. Okay, so on that day people are going to wish that they'll just be turned into dust. And over here Allah is saying kafir, meaning the unbeliever. Okay, like it's a definite unbeliever. That means it's talking about Iblis. Okay, so Iblis will wish that he was he would have been turab, dust. The Iblis who mocked and was arrogant that human beings were created from turab, from dust, he will wish that he just could turn to
A
dust.
lot of us think that because he knows, like he believes in Allah, right? He's not. He doesn't believe it. He knows Allah.
He knows even
A lot
Day of
of us-
Judgment is going to come. Yeah.
And
made out of dust.
We are made
he
out of
himself
dust.
is like part of the unseen. So I always like subconsciously I feel like he must be prepared for what
He's
is
not,
coming.
yeah, but he's thinking, oh, it's way out there, and he knows he's not going to get it because of his arrogance. But still, he didn't use that to repent to Allah, basically. Okay. Now, Surah An-Nazi'at. Again, once again, it talks about Allah starts the surah by swearing upon angels. Okay, angels who pull out the souls of the wrongdoers, angels who gently draw the souls of the righteous people. Okay, Allah is talking about the
I just did the tafsir for this.
Yes, mashallah, you just finished the tafsir of the surah. So Allah talks about swears by the angels, and then Allah talks about the day of judgment, how after we become decayed bones, Allah is able to restore and give us rebirth. Okay, and then Allah asks, "Hal ataka hadith Musa?" Have you heard the story of Musa when his Rabb called to him, to the mountain of Tuwa, Muqaddasi Tuwa, and he goes there and he becomes a prophet, and then Allah tells him to go to Fir'aun. And Fir'aun is the Fir'aun is the worst transgressor, right? He's the worst tyrannical king who claimed that he was God himself, right? And still Allah is asking Musa alayhi salam to first go gently and talk to to Fir'aun. Okay,
So,
Allah is telling, have you the desire to pure yourself? قُلْ هَلْ لَكَ إِلَىٰ أَن تَزَكَّى. Would you like to purify yourself, like change your ways? It's a very kind way of saying. Okay, so even though Fir'aun was very bad, Allah still wanted to give Fir'aun a chance. That shows how Allah is so merciful.
so like
Okay.
some kings
And also
that-
you were saying about how the angels will pull the soul out of the
Believers gently, yes.
That is Allah compares it to like water.
Swimming in the water. فَالسَّابِحَاتِ سَبْحًا.
So,
Yeah.
kings, like even just the kings, they think that they rule everything.
Yeah, but Fir'aun, he took it to the next level. He actually claimed to be God himself. Okay? And he killed anybody who wouldn't obey him. Right? Okay, now the next surah is Surah Abasa. Abasa was revealed when, anybody know the instance when Abasa was revealed? So, I think you just forgot. Abasa was revealed when the blind man comes to him. Yeah.
Abasa was revealed.
When the blind man, Abdullah bin Maktoum, will come to him to ask a question. He wants to become better as a Muslim. He wants to ask a question. And at that time, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was sitting with the Quraysh, the leaders of the Quraysh, the non-Muslim leaders, and he was feeling that finally I'm getting their attention. So let me give them da'wah. At that time, Abdullah bin Maktoum, he's blind, he cannot see who Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is talking to. He'll come and he'll ask a question. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam just does like that, like a slightest frown, not even like that, because he was so kind. He's not even doing it very badly. He just did a slight like that. Okay, so imagine you're the Quraysh and I'm talking to you, and then the blind man comes, okay, and then you, Ya Rasulullah, ask me. And then I'm like,
Just
and then
quick
just like a quick glance and a slight irritation. So Abasa means like a slight frown. It's not even like a very bad frown. Okay, and still Allah called him on that. Okay, because Allah wants Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Yes, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is so perfect. Yesterday we said that he's on the best character. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala called him on that to say don't do that. And remember, he didn't even hurt the blind man. The blind man didn't even see that. So it's not even like he hurt somebody's feelings. And another thing is, of course, Allah is honoring that blind man too, right?
Yes.
Because imagine a
He's
surah is
defending
revealed,
Allah.
yeah, not just defending, Allah reveals some, later on in the surah, Allah is praising that person.
It's honorable
So
to
that's
like
how
have
much
your
better
name
we
in the
have to be.
Quran. It's honorable to have your name in the Quran.
Exactly. Yes. Can you mention another person who's mentioned in the Quran?
The prophets.
Musa alayhi
No,
salam.
somebody who's not prophets. Yeah.
Zayd.
Zayd ibn Harith is mentioned by name itself.
Oh,
Aisha radiallahu, on behalf of Aisha radiallahu anha,
Her name
ayahs
is
were
not-
not the name. Even the blind man is not being mentioned by name, but they are being referenced.
so
Okay.
why
Now-
is
Okay, the next one, and then the surah again, it talks about how on the day of judgment, nobody will be paying attention to anybody, like the mother and father. Usually, families care about each other, but here in this case, nobody will be paying attention.
They'll just be so scared.
Yeah, they'll just be worried. Everybody will be like nafsi, nafsi. Everybody will be worried about themselves. Okay, now the next surahs are Surah Al-Takwir, Surah Al-Infitar, and then there's Mutaffifin, and after Mutaffifin, Surah Al-Inshiqaq. All these surahs start with Ida, okay? إذا الشمس كورت إذا السماء انفطرت. That's another one. إذا السماء انشقت. But even إذا زلزلت الأرض زلزالها. All these surahs are talking about when the day of judgment is happening.
Yeah,
Like
they
they
are
all-
about day.
Yeah, even Zilzala is about the day of judgment. Okay, it actually
I
portrays.
used to know the whole surah of it.
Yeah, you used to know. You don't know it now.
Oh, so
Okay.
it's talking about the earthquake. That's it.
The earth shaking. Okay, and then إذا الشمس كورت. إذا النجوم وإذا النجوم انكدرت وإذا الجبال سيرت. It's all talking about when the day of judgment happens. After the trumpet is being blown, it's talking about what happens, like the mountains crumbling, the sun ceasing to shine, it stops to shine, the stars lose its luster, all those things. Okay, the camel.
Happening right now,
Yeah.
right?
When
The
the
stars
shine
blazing
comes
there.
to that place that
Mm-hmm.
we go through.
No. Okay, and then the she camel that's about to have a baby, it just drops its baby and runs away because everybody will be
Scared.
scared and scattered. Okay, on the day of judgment.
Aren't the animals like? Aren't the animals in
The remaining-
in the day?
Yeah, they'll also be there. Okay, that's why Allah is
They'll
mentioning
be
the
there to
camel.
take revenge on them.
No, that is after everybody's gathered. This is talking about what's going to happen
Before.
in the first blow of the trumpet, when everything is
Died.
just dying because of the trumpet. Everything will die and things will go crazy. Okay, the earth and the planets won't no more be in its orbit. The order of everything just changes. Right now, everything is in a perfect balance, right? All that will change. Okay, and so
All
Allah.
our lives will be
Yeah, Allah is talking about all the different signs of the
Some lights,
hereafter. Okay.
Some lights won't be there.
Yeah. Okay, so Allah is talking about all the different signs that will happen on the day of judgment. And then Allah is talking about how Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is true prophet. Okay, how his prophethood is true. Allah sending him the Quran. It's the words of Allah sent through Jibreel alayhi salam. Okay, all these reminders are being given in these three surahs.
Kind of like some of the 6 pillars of Islam.
Yes, but mainly it's about the hereafter. Okay, then Suratul Mutaffifin. One thing that I want to point out from Suratul Mutaffifin is again the same theme of the judgment, day of judgment. Now, Suratul Mutaffifin does talk about day of judgment, just like the three Ida surahs, but it starts with the first few ayahs. It starts with talking about the people who do evil practices when they do business, they do cheating. Like for example, when it comes to selling things, they do cheating where like they give half the things. Okay, they cheat in their rates. They give half the thing that they're supposed to give with full money. But when it comes to taking their money, they try to charge more from the buyer. Okay, and so Allah is calling them on it and saying how Allah is basically saying it's a very big sin, and go like why means Allah is cursing those people who are doing that, because it's a great injustice, right? And then the surah also talks about how the Quraysh, the mushrikeen, the disbelievers, make fun of the believers, right, for their belief. So Allah is saying that on the day of judgment it will be the other way around. Like they used to mock at these believers, but on the day of judgment they'll be like, they'll regret that they were mocking at them, and in fact it will be the believers' turn who like to get back at them, kind of. Okay. Now the next surah is Suratul Buruj. Suratul Buruj was also it's also a Makki surah. Almost all these surahs are Makki surah, and the Suratul Buruj is specifically talking about the people of the ditch.
The people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it
The boy. There's a story of a boy, and how that boy will become a Muslim. He'll actually start out becoming. He'll be a boy who is being trained to do sorcery, like the king's sorcerer. But then he will see a monk and learn from him and become a Muslim. And because of him, all his people will also become Muslim. And because they became Muslim, the king, who claimed to be a God, will order that all the believers be punished. And the way they'll be punished is a big ditch will be dug, and there will be a fire inside it, and there'll be fuel to keep the fire ablaze, and the believers will be asked, if you don't abandon your faith, you'll be thrown into the fire. And that's how the believers will be punished.
This boy, Allah gave him this like kind of a
Special power.
To like make people, like if they're blind, he can make them. He can give back the eyesight of them.
Yeah, and so that's kind of the beginning, where the king will find out that he'll be asked, oh, okay, you learned sorcery, that's why you're able to do it. So he'll say, no, it is only Allah who is able to cure. So that's how the king will come to know that he actually is a Muslim, and he believes in Allah. And so the king will try multiple times to kill him. Like they'll take the boy on top of the mountains and try to throw him, but he won't be successful. They won't be successful. The boy will make dua and he'll be saved. They'll try to drown him, but everybody else will die. The people who are trying to kill him will die, but he won't. And then finally he'll give the idea to the king, and it was his idea for all the other people to witness Allah is the true God. He'll say that, gather all the people, and in front of all the people say Bismillah, in the name of Allah, the Lord of the boy, and then kill me and I'll die. Okay, and so the king will do that, and the boy will die. Yeah, the boy will die. You know the story? And the boy will die.
We did it last time.
Yeah, because the boy will die in the way the fashion the boy instructed the king to. So all the people who witness this will become Muslim, and so these people will be killed. Okay, so that's the story in Buruj. The next surah is Suratul Tariq. Okay, in Suratul Tariq, Allah is saying how the disbelievers are trying to plot a scheme against the disbelievers or against Islam, but know that Allah is the one who plans. Okay, Allah is the one who is in control of all the plots. It's only with Allah's permission that everything happens. Okay, so Allah is kind of telling the Muslims and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, just leave the affairs of the disbelievers to me. Your only concern is to do your best and to give da'wah. It is Allah who guides people. Okay, now the next surah is Surah Al-Ala and Surah Al-Ghashiyah. These two surahs are very important, because Surah Al-Ala and Ghashiyah, in fact, you'll see how for Eid, we pray the 2 rak'ahs, right? Surah Al-Ala and Surah Al-Ghashiyah are the surahs that we recite in the Eid Salah. And we also recite Surah Al-Ala when we pray witr, right? So Surah Al-Ala and Ghashiyah, on the day of Eid, it's like when everybody is, in festive mood and all that, it kind of brings us back to the reality that yes, we can enjoy and all that is there, but it's very powerful description of Jannah, good people, and the bad people, Jannah and Jahannam. Okay, especially in Ghashiyah, Allah says, هل أتاك حديث الغاشية وجوه يومئذ خاشعة. Khashia is talking about the people who are scared and the bad people who will be facing تسلى نارا حامية. Okay, and Allah is talking about تسقى من عين آنية ليس لهم طعام إلا من ضريع. There won't be any food except ضريع, which is like a thorny food, and they won't it won't benefit them. It won't take away their hunger, it won't nourish them. Okay, and then after that Allah is talking about some other faces will be na'ima, meaning happy and pleased. وجوه يومئذ ناعمة. And Allah is talking about what those people will be given. Okay, those people will be given reclining on couches, they'll be given fountains to drink from, they'll have the softest cushions and bed, the best cups to drink from, all those things are being mentioned. Okay, and then Allah brings to attention of, look at the camel, how they're created, look at how Allah has raised the sky, look at how the earth has been spread out, look at the mountains, how they're firm on the ground. Okay, and then surely, just like all this is true, surely to us, meaning to Allah, is our return. And so, and on that day, our hisab, ثُمَّ إِنَّ عَلَيْنَا حِسَابَهُمْ, our hisab, our account will be taken, like our deeds will be measured. Okay, that's Ghashiyah. And سَبِّحِ اسْمَ رَبِّكَ الْعَلَى is again talking about how it's like a reminder, you prefer the life of this world, whereas you should remember that وَالْآخِرَةُ خَيْرٌ وَأَبْقَى, the akhirah is more better for you and more everlasting. Okay,
Yeah,
and
like in this world you could die, right? But
yeah,
in the akhirah, if
we
you're
won't,
you will never die.
Okay, and سَبِّحِ اسْمَ رَبِّكَ الْعَلَى, it's also beautiful because it's one of the few surahs that start with sabbaha, like by glorifying Allah, glorifying the name of your Rabb who created all things, who has set everybody's destinies, who is guiding them. Okay, so Allah starts that surah like that, and then Allah ends the surah by saying that this is the same message that's not just given to us in the Quran, but it's the same message that was given to Musa alayhi salam and Ibrahim alayhi salam. إِنَّ هَذَا لَفِي الصُّحُفِ الْأُولَى, all the previous Ibrahim wa Musa. Okay, in the previous scriptures also the same message is being given. So I want you guys to do some research and tell me, okay, after this is done, how many surahs start with glorifying Allah. It can either be يُسَبِّحُ لِلَّهِ مَا فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ, or it can be سَبَّحَ. Okay, so all the surahs that start with sabbaha or yusabbihu. Okay, I want you guys to go over each surah and tell me how many such surahs are there. No, in the whole Quran. Okay, now the next surah is Suratul Fajr. Suratul Fajr is again وَلَيَالٍ عَشْرٍ وَالشَّفْعِ وَالْوَتْرِ وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا يَسْرِ. Yeah. So Allah starts by swearing upon the morning, the dawn, and by the 10 nights, which is the 10 days of Dhul Hijjah. Very good.
The 10 nights of Ramadan?
No, 10 days of Dhul Hijjah. And then Allah swears by the even and the odd, and when the night departs. And then Allah talks about, haven't you seen what Allah did with the people of Ad, people of Fir'aun and Thamud. Okay, and then the best for me, the favorite, I love these ayahs in Surah Al-Fajr, فَأَمَّا الْإِنسَانُ إِذَا مَا ابْتَلَاهُ, and then more than that I love the last part, which we'll do now. But this فَأَمَّا الْإِنسَانُ إِذَا مَا ابْتَلَاهُ is talking about how some people, some of the mankind, when they are being honored by, like when Allah is blessing them, when Allah is not honored, Allah is testing them by giving them all good things, like blessing them with money and everything good. They say that, oh, our Lord has honored us. Okay? Yeah, we'll tell about that also. So they will say, my Rabb is being bountiful to me. My Rabb is being honoring me. Okay? And then some people who are not being, like Ammar is telling, like some people are not, Allah is not giving them much and testing them in that way. They will say that my Rabb is humiliating me. Okay, so both are not right. Like you have to say Alhamdulillah when you have blessings, and when tests come, you have to be patient. That's the lesson from this. Instead of saying that, oh, you know, because of my greatness, Allah is honoring me.
Muhammad when he was good, he would try that he was not proud and he
Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam would not be proud. Exactly. Okay. Then Allah talks about the day of judgment coming and how and then in the end, this is what I was saying, the beautiful ayahs. يقول يا ليتني قدمت لحياتي فيومئذ لا يعذب عذابه أحد ولا يوثق وثاقه أحد. Yeah, this part. يا أيتها النفس المطمئنة. Allah is telling to the nafs al-mutmainna, to the soul that is mutmainna, meaning the soul that is at peace with Allah and with Deen. Okay, to that soul Allah will say, irji'i ila rabbika, return to your Lord, pleased, and I am pleased with you too. And then fadkhuli fi ibadi, like Allah is welcoming, wadkhuli jannati, Allah is, oh my ibad, come in, come in, come in. Allah will welcome to Jannah. This is my favorite ayah. Thinking that you have to strive harder and you know some things to do are more challenging, just remember these ayahs. Okay, how Allah will say, irji'i ila rabbiki radiyatan mardiyah fadkhuli fi ibadi wadkhuli jannati. Come on, enter into my Jannah. Okay. The next surah is Suratul Balad. Okay, Suratul Balad is an admonition to the disbelievers. Okay, and Allah is talking about how He has given everyone 2 eyes, 1 tongue, 2 lips to control your tongue, what it speaks, and all that. And Allah is telling, Allah is saying how the surah also starts with how Allah had made the city of Mecca secure for the Quraysh, right? So Allah talks about that. And after that Allah is telling how the qualities of the righteous people are freeing a slave. These days there's no slaves to free, but it can mean that you're treating servants good or something. Yeah, or zakah. And then that's the next one, feeding the hungry, being patient, and advising one another about being on the right path. Okay, so that's a very important quality for Muslims to have. Even in Wal Asr, the surah that Ammar recited, that's what it talks about. وَتَوَاسَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ وَتَوَاسَوْا بِالْحَقِّ وَتَوَاسَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. You advise and encourage your friends, okay, and you be with friends who are also encouraging the truth and to be more good, okay, and to the friends who are advising you to be more patient. When you say patient, it's not just the regular patient that we are talking about, okay? It's also patience in being persevering, okay, on the right path. And that is also patience.
And there's many things that we could take away from this. Like, for example, if one of our friends say, like, if we did something wrong and they correct you, they should be saying it nicely, and you should also reflect on it. You shouldn't just say, I didn't do that.
Yes. Okay. Now, Suratul Shams and Suratul Layl, they also start with swearing upon different creations. Swearing upon the sun, swearing upon the night, the day, the saman, the ab, okay, all that. And in Suratul Layl, one point that I want to highlight is the story of Abu Bakr radiallahu anh. Okay, so Abu Bakr radiallahu anh used to free slaves and just give in charity, even without, and people would ask that, oh, these are the poor people you're giving charity to, like how he freed Bilal. So he would, people would ask him, you're not going to get any benefit from them because they're poor. They're not going to be able to repay you. So Abu Bakr radiallahu anh is saying, okay, and this is his intention, okay, he would say that he was الذي يؤتي ماله يتزكى, he would give the one who gives charity to purify it. وما لأحد عنده من نعمة تجزى إلا ابتغاء وجه ربه الأعلى ولسوف يرضى. Like he is seeking only the pleasure of Allah. He's seeking the face of his Rabb. He's seeking the face of his Rabb means only the person who Allah is happy with, inshallah, on the day of judgment, he'll be able to see Allah, right? Yeah. And that's the best reward. So he's seeking the face of his Rabb. Okay, so Abu Bakr radiallahu anh would do all deeds, and over here especially this his deed, his charitable quality is being mentioned, how he would do it only to get the pleasure of Allah. He's not expecting any return. Okay. Remember, even in another story, we learned how in the story of Aisha radiallahu anha, where she'll be slandered, where the people will make rumors about her, what will happen? He will, even the person who was spreading rumors about his own daughter, he'll still continue to give.
And he'll even give more.
He'll even give more, exactly. Okay. Now, the next one is Surah Al-Duha. Surah Al-Duha was a surah that was revealed, so for some period of time, no surahs were revealed. Okay. And so Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam started feeling worried. Okay. And then after some time, Allah will reveal Surah Al-Duha wa-Duha wal-Layli idha sajama wadaka rabbuka wa ma qala, as a way of consoling and saying that don't worry, I have not left you, I've not forsaken you. Okay? Because he started getting worried, why am I not getting any more revelations?
Not only will he be happy that he got the revelation, he'll also be happy that Allah is consoling him.
Allah is consoling him. Nice. Okay, so then Allah is asking, when you were an orphan, who gave you shelter? Did we not give you shelter when you were an orphan? When you were lost, meaning before he became a prophet, and he felt lost, and he was like, what's happening over here? He knew that idol worshipping is wrong, and he used to go on top of, he used to go to the Hira cave of Hira, and contemplate and sit. At that time, Allah is the one who guided him, right? So Allah is treating him, telling him, see, I did this for you, I did this for you. I'm not going to forsake you. I'm going to be there for you. Okay? That's how Allah is revealing this surah. And then Allah says, therefore, do not treat the orphan with harshness, and do not push away the beggar, and speak gratefully about the bounty of your Rabb. That's a very important ayah for us to implement as well. وَأَمَّا بِنِعْمَةِ رَبِّكَ فَحَدِّثْ. Like, proclaim the blessings of your Lord. Meaning, it talks about the importance of being positive, having a positive attitude, and not taking things negatively. Whatever happened, alhamdulillah, Allah gave us this. In any situation, there's always some blessing of Allah that we can talk about, right? Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. So every day we should have this habit of thinking about blessings of Allah, okay? To develop a positive attitude and not to have that negative, see the world with positive eyes. Even a person who has nothing has Allah. And if that
Allah's greater than everything.
Exactly. Even a person, there are so many people in this world who have nothing, but they're still so positive, and that's how we should try to be. Okay?
Think on the bright side.
Yeah, think on the bright side. The next surah is Alam Nashrah Laka Sadrak. It's like a continuation of Duha itself, and it's kind of revealed back to back itself. And Allah is saying, have we not expanded, just like in the other surah, have we not done this for you, have we not done this for you? Same thing. Have you not expanded your chest for you? Meaning, when your chest is constricted, that feeling, right? So Allah is telling the opposite. We expanded your chest for you and relieved you from the burden, okay? And exalted your fame. So, and then Allah is telling, surely with difficulty comes ease. Okay? It's not after difficulty, it's with difficulty comes ease. فَإِنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا إِنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا. So these are like gems, okay? So what does it mean, Asma?
With every difficulty, there's ease.
Yes, with every difficulty there is relief, or there is ease. So Allah is telling, so get up and work hard. Okay, that's the tone that Allah is using. فَإِذَا فَرَغْتَ فَانْصَبْ وَإِلَىٰ رَبِّكَ فَارْغَبْ. Turn all your attention to your Rabb and work hard. Okay, don't just feel like, oh, I don't have anything, and just get up, and with whatever you have, alhamdulillah, get up and proclaim the greatness of your Lord. Get up and work hard. Okay? The next surah is Surah At-Teen. In that, Allah is telling how Allah has honored the human beings. Okay? Allah has honored us and created us in the best fashion. We have indeed created man in the best stature. Okay? And again, it's like a sign. Allah is telling to the disbelievers. So reflect. Who are you to deny the day of judgment? Isn't Allah the best of the judges? Okay? And the next surah is Surah Al-Alaq. It's the first surah to be revealed. اقرأ باسم ربك.
اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق الإنسان من علق.
Yeah.
اقرأ ربك الأكرم الذي علم
بالقلم علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم. And you guys know the story, right? Yeah. So, and one beautiful thing about the surah is, and the end of it, there is sajda also. It's talking about how the best position in salah, the closest to Allah, is in the sujood.
And some people might be thinking that, but you're going down.
Down, but that's the most humble position, right? In front of Allah, you're being the most humble. So this same part where we do the sujood, in science we learn that this is where our thinking faculty is, our faculty where we reflect, our intelligence. And that's what we're putting down when we do sujood, and that's what Allah will pull the disbelievers on the Day of Judgment by their forelock, because this is the part that makes you do good and bad. Okay, so when you are putting your intelligence itself, that part itself on the floor, you're humbling yourself in front of Allah.
That's why you told me that do it for more long so that you could think.
Exactly. Okay, now the next surah, and I think I'm going to end with this surah, okay, is Surah Laylatul Qadr. Okay, let's all read it together. أنزلناه في ليلة القدر وما أدراك ما ليلة القدر ليلة القدر خير من ألف شهر تنزل الملائكة والروح فيها بإذن ربهم من كل أمر سلام هي حتى مطلع الفجر. This is talking about إنا أنزلناه في ليلة القدر. It's talking about ليلة القدر, and and ليلة القدر is better than 1,000 months, which is 83 years. Okay, and on that night is when our qadr is written down, and that night at dawn you will experience peace as the angels who had come down leave. Okay, we'll stop here. Of course, there are more surahs. Some of them talk about, like Idha Zulzila talks about the Day of Judgment. Inshallah, after Ramadan, we will do these surahs in detail. Okay, we'll start focusing on each surah in Juzama and do in detail. But I'll just mention the last three surahs, the three Qul surahs. One is Surah Al-Ikhlas, Qul Huwallahu Ahad. Do you know that if you recite Qul Huwallahu Ahad one time, it's equivalent to reading 1/3 of the Quran? Ammar. So how many 1/3 will make one whole? 3. Very good. So if you read it 3 times, if you read Qul Huwallahu Ahad 3 times, it's as though you read the whole. That's different. Now I'm talking about Surah Al-Ikhlas. If you read Surah Al-Ikhlas 3 times, it's like you have read the whole Quran.
So that means in the night when we say it 3 times, when we say Ikhlas 3 times, it's like we read the whole
Quran. Okay? Now finally, Falaq.
It's still not morning.
Finally, Surah Al-Falaq and Surah Al-Nas. You all know this. Before sleeping, along with Surah Al-Ikhlas, you recite it 3 times and always blow over it. You guys do that, right? Do you guys do that? Ammar, do you do that? Okay, that's why you should do that more often, so that you won't have bad dreams. Okay, you always tell me you had a bad dream, right? Okay, read these 3 surahs and Ayatul Kursi, and Ammar, you do this.
But it is when you do it.
Can you do that?
No,
but do it consistently.
When you do a dua, you go like this. But when you do it, I still have a bad dream.
Let's try doing it more consistently. Okay? So we'll end here. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. اللهم تقبل منا وصيامنا وقيامنا وركوعنا وسجودنا and all our sadaqat. May Allah accept everything from us. May Allah allow us to experience and to reach many, many more Ramadan. May Allah elongate our lives so that we'll have more and more Ramadan, so that we have more and more chance to worship Allah and to gain more and more like degrees in Jannah. I mean, may Allah forgive all of us our shortcomings. Allah keep making us better every day. I mean, may Allah make dua for your parents too, and I make dua for my parents and for Baba's parents. May Allah grant them afiyah and long life and good health and increase them in iman as well as all of us. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين.
السلام عليكم.
we finished the whole thing. Alhamdulillah.